Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Country Snuff. I'm digging doing these. I used to be a dipper, and something like this back when I dipped would have been perfect. So I uh, I dipped Copenhagen Silver Lid. For those of you that don't know, that's a fine cut snuff, and it's a very it's like uh, it's almost like Grove in a way, a little different, but it's very similar to Grove. Um, Very natural tobacco taste, very good, dark, rich taste. I love it. And I've used maybe a handful of cans over like the last 4 or 5 years of it. Um, you know, just wanted to revisit. And the last one was actually this year. And when these Wintergreen packs came out, I went and I bought a can. No, some of y'all probably saw when I posted on Facebook and Reddit, and I was very intrigued. So I've bought 2 or 3 cans of this now, and I've used them all except for there's 2 left in here. And I've really been digging them. I used them at work all week last week, and I like them. If I'd have used these back then, I probably would have transitioned to snooze a lot sooner. But at the same time, I probably would have used these and not had actually tried snooze. Um, I have my old boss to thank for that because she's the one that actually introduced me to snooze. She hated when I smoked at work, but she never stopped me. And when I started dipping at work, she was fine with that, except for certain times she didn't like it. She just said it wasn't appealing, and I was all right with that. We worked landscape and horticulture. I was a nursery manager back then, and I did a lot of landscaping. So being on jobs around customers, certain people that would come in, those kinds of things she didn't like, and I was fine with that. And like I said, I used silver lid cope, and that's fine cut, and that stuff would be everywhere. So towards the end of it, I was pretty good at being able to keep that stuff right there. But you still saw it. I did the best I could. Now something like this, if I could have had this, like I said, I probably would have never tried snooze. And I say snooze because she brought me camel snooze one day, and I did try it. It wasn't the worst thing at that time that I'd ever had because obviously I was smoking cigarettes. But I did try some, and after a while I just said nope. I gave up on it. It wasn't enough. I kept dipping, and then I found General, and I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing. And I gave up on dip because at that point I'd switched over to the Coke pouches, and they were all right, but they weren't what I wanted. Had I known that I could just put that Coke pouch up top, I would have done so. And I never honestly thought about it. So back then, I was young. I was in my 20s. I didn't really know anything yet. I had not gained the knowledge tobacco wise that I have now. And hell, if I could go back and do it all over again, I would. I would have quit smoking a long time ago. I would have used a lot less dip, and I would have found snooze like really, really early on. And hell, who knows? Who knows how things would differ? Uh, besides health wise and uh, saving thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars probably. All the cigarettes I bought over the years. And that being said, though, I like these. Now, Copenhagen is made by the U.S. Smokeless Tobacco Company, and they are who are they owned by? I think they're owned by Altria. And I've used a lot of Cope over the years, and specifically, like I said, the Cope Silver Lid, Cope Southern Blend, and Cope Wintergreen Long Cut. Now, those three, Cope Southern Blend and Wintergreen, I would go back and forth on. Silver Lid was all the time. That was my jam. So I'm hoping that they make more of these in different flavors, specifically those two, because that would be awesome. Now, Cope has, and I've looked this up before. Cope doesn't really post or talk about their nicotine levels, but they are in between like 10 and 14 milligrams um, per gram, and these guys are 1 gram packs. So I don't know. It doesn't feel weak. It doesn't feel strong. So I mean, it's probably somewhere in that 10 to 14. It's nice. Nice nicotine delivery. And I already put one in a couple minutes before I started the video because they do take a couple minutes to start working up some juices. And they've been good. Like I said, I've been using them all week at work. I've been enjoying them. Now, like I said, I still, I'm not going to continue buying these. I just wanted to go through about a week or so and see what I thought. And I'm, I don't use, the only thing tobacco wise that I use on, with any type of consistency other than snus is nasal snuff and cigars. And those are still, you know, occasional with consistency. So it's mainly just snooze, maybe here or there throughout the week I might have a cigar, or I might use some nasal snuff here or there throughout the week. Then sometimes I might not touch anything but snooze for a month or two. So dipping is not one of those things that I fall into and do with any consistency. Like I said, I've had, since I quit, so let's see, 8 years, I've probably had maybe 10 cans of dip. And that's just either times when I wanted to just revisit, or when I didn't have any snooze and I needed something, and dip was, obviously the better choice. So these guys though I like. They taste exactly like Cope Wintergreen, and they're filled with Cope Long Cut Wintergreen. They don't. I don't get as much spit off of them as like you would if you had a bunch of long cut in your lip. After about maybe 20 minutes or so, you can do some nice spitting, and it does last for quite a while, because that's one thing that I read on Cope's website, freshcope.com, where they talked about that. They said if you found the website, or if you found any of their posts, you'd see where it says that lasts longer, and it has a nice moisture level. Now the moisture level is a little less than, say, like long cut, because that pouch material is fairly thin. It's very spandex like, but it's still, being as moist as it is, it's not as moist as just long cut snuff. That's pretty wet. So, but it is pretty good. Now, when we get to longevity, hour and a half, something like that. Some people maybe less. I've went in between an hour to 2 hours, depending on what I was doing. Sometimes I don't think about it, and then yeah, I mean, they were pretty good. Like I said, they don't feel overly strong either. Now, The biggest gripe I have is that there is way more Cope in a can than what I'm getting out of these. Now, depending on how much, because I knew dudes who would use, you know, a can and 4 pinches, or some people would use like 2 or 3 pinches, and that's a can. Um, so I mean, you're getting 12 1 gram portions, depending on where you go. One of the cans, the first can I bought, I got for like $4, maybe like 4.19, I think. But in the same county, I went to another Sheets and bought another can, and it was like $9. Then, so you know, it is what it is, depending on where you live and where you go. You're going to find them from anywhere from $4 to $10. So now, I don't think that 12 packs is bad, but I feel like they could have did like at least like 15. I understand too how they're kind of like pressed in here. I'll try to show you. Sorry, I'm doing one-handed operation on this video. So, I mean, you can see they're fairly big, but I mean, you could fit a couple more. You could fit 3 more in that can. So 15 would have been the magic number for the packs. Yeah, I mean, this is a good can. So, I mean, and I always liked Copenhagen. Copenhagen was a good company for dip. They were reliable, never really had any issues. Excuse me. And I liked the products that they came out with. When they did the Wayman's Reserves a few years ago, they were good. Now the last couple of years, they've been doing limited edition cans. I have another Copenhagen review coming up. We're going to do. It's the what is it? It's the can they made for. They're coming up on 200 years because they were founded in 1822. So obviously, 2022 is going to be 200 years. So we're going to do that soon, and that is a long cut version of what I used to use in the fine cut. So I'm excited about that. But like I said, if you're interested, I mean, check them out. It's not bad. It's not a bad product. It's just, like I said, it's not something that I'm going to use all the time, and it's not something I advocate you to use all the time. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I hope y'all enjoyed it, especially my my intro and my outro. Put a lot of thought and a lot of work into that. So anyways, until next time, guys, everybody stay safe. God bless, and we'll see you soon.